Hello, hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Healing Playlist. I'm your host with the most, maybe not. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is The Healing Playlist and my name is Desi, where I like to talk about anything healing related and I like to talk about music. Sometimes I mix them up, sometimes I don't. But today's topic, in case you read it, you are correct, you read it right, is mental health. Today's topic is fuck men's mental health. And in case if you're wondering, was the title clickbait? It was and is. It is a clickbait title. However, I'm gonna go during like a rundown when it comes to men and their mental health, along with like some issues that I've noticed within men my age, so men within their 30s, along up until like 20 or mid 20s, because of course I interact with men on a daily basis, whether it's going to the groceries or family, someone I'm dating. I interact with men often. I grew up with a father, I grew up with a brother, so I know what it's like to have a man at home, along with just dating. I am a heterosexual woman, so I do date men. And this topic kind of came up to me during a date, actually, along with, I'm not even gonna lie, this is also like Megan the Stallion related, just because she's dropping in a new song soon to be awaited, basically approaching her breakup with Klay Thompson. I saw a reaction video to it, and some guy was like, damn, like she's dropping this song in the month of men's mental health. And when I thought of that, I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know I didn't even know men had a mental health month. And when I looked it up, yeah, June is men's mental health. And you know, how is it that we have a whole month dedicated to men primarily when it comes to regarding mental health? And yeah, it seems that when it comes to the dating scene, all I hear is that it's trash. Along with experiencing myself, it's just that men are having issues that we haven't seen before, that I haven't seen before, that are new. Maybe it's because I am older. Who knows? But regardless, there is, the title has some clickbait to it. However, there is a deep meaning to it, just because I know that over 50% of my viewers are men. I think the majority are men as of now. And I know my audience is men, and I have nothing but love for men, even though y'all pissed me the fudge off. Like, it's all nothing but love. But I think this is a topic that needs to be talked about. So majority of men do not seek any type of mental health due to, when it comes to the stigma, whether it being due to cultural backgrounds, along with due to age. So I think there's already a stigma behind mental health, along with, when it comes to men, they're mostly taught to suppress their emotions. And now that it's 2026 and where we are in the world, it's like, I just find it so frustrating that men have the resources, along with, even if they don't, like, why can't men just talk about it to their friends? Or why can't like men talk about their issues? I feel like that's one of the main sources when it comes to the stigma, is that men just don't speak up overall when it comes to their mental health. And it sucks that the rest of the world has to suffer for it. With, there is like the performative men that come with the mental health world. And that's another thing that I feel like the men's mental health is also like experiencing, where it's hurting them, is that there are men that go to therapy or are advocates for therapy, but have never been to therapy, or either lied throughout their therapy. So for example, I went on a date. The date did not go well. It was an okay date. He just was showing signs that he wasn't over an ex, and I've encountered men like that before, along with, I've been in that position as well, where you're not over an ex, you're just going on the date just to, like, you know, get them off your mind or get revenge or whatever the case may be. So anyways, I go on this date with this man, and first of all, he was like 10 minutes late, and I was just like, oh God, I already know when someone does that to me. If I'm first meeting you and you're showing up late, like, and I show up on time, considering I'm always late to almost everything, I show up ahead of you and you're late, like, that's already a red flag in my books. Because it's like, I showed up early. Anywho, so we go on the date. And I'm not gonna lie, there were some red flags beforehand going on this date. So I already knew what type of man he was on. He was older than me. He was in his late 30s. And I just want to give that as a background. So he was in his late 30s, right? And one thing I noticed about his profile is that he lied about his height. He said he was 5'9", but when I met him, he was like up to my height. And I'm like 5'6". So it's like, okay, you lied about your height. Like, that's one thing. Anyhow, I'm going off subject. So we go on this date. He shows up late. Beforehand, like when it came to the communication, he would only like text me at night or communicate with me during at the app. When we were communicating off the dating app, he would only communicate me during night. So it's like, okay, I already know you're a player. Well, that's what you're giving me, is that you're giving me a player, along with like you just, I don't know, there was just a gut feeling that I knew about this guy. So sure enough, we go on this date and he is just giving red flag after red flag. Like, he continued talking about his ex, like maybe like multiple times. And he began trauma dumping on me about like his family past, his family history. And I thought, you know what? Okay, since you're going to trauma dump on me, I'm going to trauma dump on you too. Because it's been a minute since I've trauma dumped on a man. And normally when it comes to trauma dumping, I talk about losing my dad and losing my brother within like a year time gap. So I was telling him the story about my brother. And so I'm telling this like story about how my brother just like crashed like one of the parties that I threw back in the day, like when I was like 18 or 19 years old, and was upset at one of his friends because he was at the party. And anyway, so my brother like crashed out, went all crazy. And I was telling him the story, and his comment to this was, oh, your brother needed therapy. And I was just thinking like, okay, well, are you even listening? Did you even hear the story about how I told you that my brother's deceased and you're telling me that he needed therapy? So it's like, one, are you listening to me? Two, if he was and he addresses that, or he knew that my brother has passed, like, why are you saying that he needs therapy if he's gone? Like, what do you want me to do with a towel of dead man? Like, oh, you need therapy? It's like kind of too late for that. So, but this comment, right, it seems like, oh wow, like to one individual it might be like, oh wow, he's into mental health and he recognizes patterns, and another one might notice like, or think like, hey, like, no, that comment was kind of off. And that's exactly what it is. It was a performative comment, along with it was passive and microaggressive. It was just off-putting to make a comment on someone who I'm related to, telling me that they needed therapy. And it's just like, okay, well, you've given me numerous of red flags. You have honestly show that you're not over your last breakup. Like, I think you need therapy. And if you were in therapy, like, I think you're lying to your therapist about what you're going through. And that's something that I just was thinking throughout this date, is just like, this man like is so performative when it comes to mental health. And that is, I feel like, a new wave of men that are going to be built in this day and age, is that there are going to be men that advocate mental health because it's a trending topic within the past few years. And men are going to use it in conversations like that, or make videos, like YouTube videos, like those red pill videos, right? We all know about them. Or red pill, blue pill videos, whatever, and advocate for mental health, when lo and behold is that they're going to advocate for it but haven't done the steps themselves. And that's the frustrating part of when it comes to men and mental health, is that there's a side of it that is performative, and it's just annoying that there's a month dedicated to men to better themselves, yet there are a handful of men that just do it on a performative base. They don't really do it because it comes from within. So that is one thing that I noticed when it comes to like men and mental health, is that some of it is performative, some of it is not really authentic, and it's frustrating. And another thing that I want to mention is that I understand that it is uncomfortable to talk about your issues to a stranger. And this message goes to more towards the men who haven't really been to therapy, is that I would highly suggest you go to therapy. That way you aren't the subject of some random girl's date story about telling to a couple of her viewers of how performative they are. Is that I think, no, I know that there's a lot of men that do not go to therapy. There's a lot of men that don't focus on their mental health. There's a lot of men that will focus on whether it being going to the gym, being physically active, along with people, there's just different ways we cope with it. But I think when it comes to men going to therapy themselves, and I know it's statistically proven that in general men just don't generally go to anything when it comes to mental health, is that it's needed. And let's take this month to really focus on, if you're a man and if you need help, that it's officially it's a good month to go. It's a good month to do research on whether it being a certain therapist that you're looking into, whether it being different coping mechanisms on you seeking therapy, because it's just sad seeing a 30-some-year-old man who still needs help and doesn't know how to navigate his emotions and navigate his feelings. And I want the best for all my male viewers when it comes to their mental health, is for them to go to therapy and better themselves and communicate in a healthy manner. Is that all of the negative traits when it comes to men, like women pick it up, and it's just a generational curse that just keeps on going into different generations. And we're in a new era now. We're in a new world where women are at a higher rate buying houses than men are. When it comes to women making good income, women can do it. Women are able to provide for themselves, so women aren't really obligated to look at a man when it comes to helping them benefit from any financial or social gain. Like, we're just in a new world where women are able to do all that what men once did. And I think there's a good portion of men who can't comprehend this, that they believe that they are the prize when it comes to the dating game. And to a certain degree, it's like, yes, I do believe, like, you should believe you're a prize, but like, you shouldn't look at it as a game, like a prize. Like, you shouldn't look at yourself as a prize. You should look at yourself as a human being. So point is, if you're a man watching this and you are one of my man viewers, I would hope that you guys are on it. And I want the best for the men viewers, to get on top of their mental health. And I hope my story with one of the previous date I have helped out on kind of time framing on how men navigate mental health and how it may come up as performative. However, due to like just statistically, like overall, when it comes to even in different countries, men just don't go to therapy, and it is men's mental health. And take this as time to enroll in therapy to help yourself out. And ultimately, if you do go to therapy, please do not lie. Like, that is another thing that is like so annoying, is like when people actually go to therapy and they lie about like whatever story they're telling them, or fabricating the story a little bit. It's like, be honest when you go to the library. Be honest when you go to therapy about what you've been through, what you're going through, and really, just voice out what you're going through to help out future generations, help out the women, help out the men, like help out society overall. Because it's just unfair to yourself to have a burden or not really know who you are or understand something that you're going through. But there are the resources out there. You just got to look for them, and ultimately you also have to give it time. Alrighty, well, that's all I have for today's topic for men's mental health. And of course, I'm not here to say F men's mental health. No, of course, I'm not going to say that. I just knew it was a catchy title, along with I did get some inspiration off of off of TikTok, because it's like F men's mental health. Like, yeah, I like that. But let me know in the comments if you're a man and if you're experiencing any mental health issues currently, and if you've thought about seeking any help, because ultimately y'all gotta go to therapy. Like, I've been in and out of therapy since I was 19. Like, it's been over so many years that I've been to therapy, but I'm always gonna root for you guys, and I'll just end this here because I'm just blabbering at this point. But catch you on the next one, and love and peace. Bye.